and thank you for joining us. We're going to start as we did last week, but we have 2 new people, so welcome. Lying down, and we're going to do what's called rectangular breath. Now, it doesn't mean to say you're going to turn into a rectangle or have to think about a rectangle. We merely say that because we're going to breathe in for a count of 4, hold the breath for a count of 2 if we can, breathe out for 4, and hold for 4. But I'll talk you through it, so don't worry, it's not complicated. And at home, again, you may have done this at lunchtime in mindful breathing. We're going to revisit that. If you didn't join at lunchtime, don't worry, I'm going to talk you through it. So I'm just turning the music down a little bit so you can hear my voice, yogis. It's got muffled. And to turn the lights out as well, just to give your eyes a rest, so that we have just that natural light. So if you're at home, you can lie down or you can sit. Lying down is more comfortable, particularly if you've had a hard day. Do tuck your chins in towards your throat when you lie down. Just that gives your back of the neck a nice stretch, and it means it's in line with the spine. So chin tucked into throat. Turn the palms towards the ceiling, yogis. Have the arms slightly away from the body, and just let your feet fall out so that the hips can open. Just let the heels flop. Relax the legs and thighs. I'd like you to gently close the eyes. And if you can, closing the mouth as well. We're going to aim to try and breathe through the nostrils. But if that's a bit tricky today, by all means breathe through slightly parted lips. Just as long as you're comfortable. So let's take 1 or 2 resting breaths in and out. I always begin a practice lying down or quietly, having what I call a bit of breath space. It's simply a moment to arrive in the space, perhaps the stillest and quietest you've been all day, so enjoy it. Take a few deep breaths, let your breath and body settle. Okay, yogis, so we're going to have a little go at rectangular breath. And if you find it just isn't for you, if it isn't manageable, then just simply relax the breath and focus on breathing in and out if easier. Rectangular breath helps to just calm, quieten, and can be energy building. So it can energize us if we're tired. All we're going to do is together take a deep breath in and count for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We count in our heads as we inhale, and then pause for a count of just 2 beats. 1, 2. Then gently breathe out for a count of 4, and hold the breath out for 2 beats. 1, 2. And that's all we do. Breathe in again gently for 4. A count internally to yourself of 4. Breathe out for 2 beats. 1, 2. And gently exhale again for 4. And breathe out. 1, 2. And we continue. So inhaling for 4, pausing for 2, exhaling gently for 4, and again pausing for 2. So the ratio is 4, 2, 4, 2. Now just have a go. 1 round is the breath in and out, yogis. And if comfortable, I'd like you to do 5 very slow breaths in your own time. 5 slow rounds. So inhaling for 4, pausing for 2, if that's manageable. Exhale for 4, and again pause for 2. So 2 or 3 more rounds, slowly, in your own time, and very much at your own pace. Don't rush them, just keep them manageable. And if there's any discomfort, just stop and relax the breath. Just continue 2 more rounds for me in your own time. Just having a go at what we call rectangular breathing. Just doing one more round for me, yogis, in your own time. Okay, let's relax that breath now and just allow the breath to return to a normal inhalation and exhalation. Just relax the breath now. And notice if that breath feels a little deeper and you feel a little calmer, almost centered now. Just let your breath relax. This can help bring lightness to the lungs, and that expansive breathing can actually be quite energizing, particularly if we're feeling tired or a little fatigued. Now, when you're ready, yogis, just take a nice deep breath in and out for me, in and out. And gently open the eyes if they were closed. Give yourself a moment just to adjust back to the light. And just start to wiggle the fingers and toes gently. Start to make little circles with your wrists and ankles as well. And this can help to untie stiffness there. So wiggling the toes, making little circles with wrists and ankles, just untie the knots. Particularly if you've done a lot of sitting today, these areas may feel quite tight, so go gently in both directions. Take a deep breath in and out for me, and then just stretch those arms overhead. Bring the legs together, the feet together if you can. Push the toes against an imaginary wall, heels away, toes toward you, and just reach and lengthen, that's it, through the whole body. Take a nice, deep, rich breath there. Breathe in, lengthen the whole body. Breathe out, and then another deep breath in, lengthening and stretching. And when you're ready to exhale, just float the arms back down to the sides of your body when you're ready. Welcome back. So we've already done our rectangular breathing, and today we're going to do what's called the moon salute. You've probably heard of the sun salute, maybe you've done it in yoga or seen it in yoga books. And we're going to do something slightly different called the moon salute. It's a lovely twist. It bends and stretches the spine beautifully, and we make and mimic the shapes of the moon. We're going to sort of almost mimic the cycle of the moon. So what I want you to do when you're ready, just hug your knees into your chest and just rock gently to soften that low back. Rocking gently, softening the low back. This is great if your back is a little tight, if you've done a lot of sitting. Drawing the knees in. It's almost like giving yourself a big internal hug, remember? It helps to massage all the abdominal organs. So take an extra rich breath there. Give yourself a big internal hug. And then we're going to roll over and come up to kneeling. Now, if you're at home, you're going to pad something up underneath the knees. For the yogis in the studio here, can you roll onto one side, and behind you all, there's an extra mat. If you'd like to grab a mat, you will need that for underneath your knees. So ladies, those two, if you would like to grab that one. And that's mats that have been sanitized, they're clean, and we're going to use them, okay, for our knees. If you're at home, yogis, we're going to use something like this, which is just a nice sort of perforated, you can use a cushion or a block, that being on TV. A cushion or a block is great, but have some padding up underneath your knees. And put that pretty much in the center of your mat, so that you can take 1 foot forward, 1 back. And trust me, even if your knees are brilliant and young and strong, this is just going to support them. So what we do is we start the moon salute in a kneeling position. So use that padding. That's it. Now, if you sit like this for a long period of time, it gets easier, but we're not going to stay for long. We're just going to bring the hands to the heart center. And it's just a moment to recognize we're going into the moon salute. So roll your shoulders back, yogis. Just quietly enjoy a quiet breath here. Gaze softly along the floor and take a breath in and a breath out. Then we come up to kneeling. We do the same. We take a breath in and a breath out. And it's a great way just to, again, have a moment to focus on the breath. Now we're going to start on the right side. So let's gently take the right foot forwards and leave the left knee on the floor. Pad it up, yeah? We're going to be grateful for this little bit of padding, I'm sure, in a minute. And the first pose, if you think about the shape that the moon makes, often it's a crescent moon, and it goes into the waxing, the waning moon, and the full moon. So we're going to inhale and raise the arms slowly and bring either the palms together or facing. So we mimic this crescent moon. If you want to, you can look up and gently back towards the ceiling. Create a little bend. Now, if that's too much, just simply look forwards, don't strain. If your shoulders are tight, palms are facing, or perhaps bringing the palms together and then crossing the thumbs over to help keep the palms together. But this is fine. Let's take a deep breath in here, deep breath out. Now we're going to inhale and just take those arms to shoulder height. Because we've got our right foot forwards, we first twist to the right. So we exhale and just gently twist to the right, palms are facing forwards. And inhale, come back to the center slowly. And exhale slowly to your left. Good. Only as far as you can. Quite strong on the spinal muscles, so take care. Now inhale, come back. Now we're going to just lean over to the right. So let's bring left arm up, right arm down, and just get a little side bend over to your right. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. Inhale back to the center, and we do the other side. We're making this crescent shape. That's it, coming over to the left. Inhale, exhale, coming up. Now, I want you to place your left hand on your left hip and use the right hand, scoop it up and come back into that crescent, just looking up, slightly back. Raise the opposite arm, make sure you're not bending too far, either looking up or forwards again, lengthening through the side ribs. Take a breath in, deep breath out here, and then slowly take your hands back to your hips to steady you. Come back onto all fours, palms together. Inhale, exhale. Sitting back if you can, and again, take a breath in, take a breath out. Now that's half a round, and we're going to do the left side to complete the round. So when you're ready, take a deep breath in and out here again. Everybody okay? Up we come again. Inhale, exhale. You'll get it, that's it. And you're a lot of breathing, that's very good. And the left leg comes forwards now. It seems a lot to remember, but we're doing it together. Okay. Inhale, we're going to come into our crescent moon, raise the arms slowly, palms facing or touching, whichever's easier for you. A stronger stretch will be looking up and gently back. Watch the low back though. It's absolutely fine to just simply gaze ahead and really get that lovely reaching up, because you're stretching these intercostal muscles, creating length in the torso. Then take the arms to shoulder height. Let's inhale and twist on the exhale to the left, yogis. We're doing the left side. Take a breath in. Make sure the front foot is anchored down. That's it. Watch that front knee. Come back to the center. Good. Exhale to the opposite side as far as you can without straining. Breathing in. Breathing out. If there's a salute to the moon, come back to the center. We're going to side bend to the left. So right arm goes up, left arm down. Inhale and side bend just as far as you can as you look ahead. Exhale here. Inhale back to the center. Exhale over to the other side. Just again, not straining. Make sure you're not overstretching. Breathe in. Breathe out. There's plenty of time. Let's come back. And this time, right hand goes to right hip. Inhale, we scoop the left arm up. Offer the pose up to the, whoever you want to offer it to, gods, goddesses, the weather. And both palms facing now, back into that crescent. And again, just be mindful you don't have to look up. Looking forwards is absolutely fine. When you're ready to, take the hands on the exhale back to your hips. That's just a little steadying. Come back onto your knees, palms together. Breathing in. Just quietly take a breath out and then gently sit back down. This is a really peaceful practice and well-rounded, and it provides your spine with every sort of twist it needs. Can we manage another round? Yeah. We have a go? When you're ready, coming up. Do as much or as little as you can. Again, if your knees hurt, you can always stop. Please don't feel pressured to do any more than you can comfortably. Right leg comes forwards again. Okay, now anchor that foot down. In fact, take a moment, yogis, to lift the toes of the right foot, spread them wide as if you are fanning them apart, particularly that big toe, because it always wants to do its own thing, usually come off the floor. So almost talk to it and say, stay where you are, please. Okay, let's go. Inhale, we lengthen up, we gather the energy. Palms facing, we can look forward, we can look up. If we're looking up and back, make sure the back of the spine, the low spine, isn't feeling too pinched there. Now take an extra breath in for me. Lovely. Deep breath out, just enjoy the stretch. Lovely. And arms out to the side. We're going to breathe in together. We use the exhalation to twist again to our right. Our right leg is forwards. Take a breath in and out here. Make sure you're not twisting too far, yogis. Inhale back to center. Exhale to your left. That's it. Anybody notice one side feels easier to twist to? Don't forget to breathe. Breathe in and out freely. This is your breath. Use it wisely. Lovely. Come back to the center. Now it's the right arm that goes down. The left arm comes up. As we come over into a side bend to the right, look forwards. Take a long breath in and out. Even though you're tipping to the right, of course, it's the left side of the ribcage that receives the stretch. Inhale when you're ready, back to center. Exhale, make a crescent moon to your left. And don't worry if the fingers don't touch the floor, mine certainly don't. But again, just enjoy the stretch on the right side now, stretching into those side ribs on your right. Inhale back. And then again, left hand to left hip, and offer the pose up. It's a scooping motion. Up we come, that's it. Lifting, getting that little stretch all the way from your belly up to your throat. Add the left arm, come back into crescent moon shape, breathing in. Breathe out, hands go back to your hips. Come back onto that kneeling position. Palms together. Take a peaceful breath in and out. Calming down. And just reflecting on the shapes and the cycles of the moon. That's almost what we're mimicking. It's a really good, all-rounded, quite peaceful practice. So notice if you feel a little quieter. Last round on the left, yogis. Let's come back up to kneeling. And we'll do it all again on the left side. Then we'll have a little rest. So breathing in. Breathing out. Carefully, just take that left foot forwards now. That's it. So we're on the right knee, kneeling on the right knee, left foot forwards. Inhale, gather your energies. Take a lovely long deep breath in. Relax the shoulders, either looking up or forwards. Hold for a deep breath in, deep breath out. Good. Now we're going to inhale, take the arms again to shoulder height, and we twist firstly on the exhale to the left. I want you to hold that for another deep breath in and out. Keep the arms at shoulder height. Open the fingers wide. Lovely. Inhale back to center. Exhale and twist carefully to your right and hold for a breath in and out. Just notice if these twists are feeling a little easier. Come back to the center on the next inhale. And let's go down, left arm down, right arm comes over into the side bend as we gently side bend to our left. And we take a long breath in, a releasing breath out. Back to the center slowly, over to the right. Anybody finding it a little bit easier second time round? Yeah, maybe too early to say. Inhale, come back. Right hand to right hip. Offer the pose up with your left hand. Lovely deep breath in. If you don't want to look up, remember, just look forwards. Add the opposite arm back in your crescent pose for a deep breath in. Lengthen up, create space in those side ribs. Exhale, yogis, hands go back to our hips. Come back into the kneeling pose. Take a quiet, reflective breath in. Deep breath out. And slowly we come back down into a kneeling position where we simply take a quiet breath in again and a breath out. Nicely done, yogis. Now, it's possible that your knees have had quite enough of kneeling. So, come off your yoga mats or your bolsters and put them to one side. And a nice counter pose for your knees is just to come on all fours. Wrists are underneath shoulders. Open the fingers wide. Just stretch that left leg out. Tuck the toes under. That's it. Just have a good stretch there, just to give those knees a release. We can look down and keep the back of the neck long, and then release the knee and switch sides. Tuck the toes under the right foot, lengthen and stretch into the leg and the muscles around the thigh, just to release the knee joint, really. We'll do that once more on each side. Tucking the toes under if you want to, just getting a good stretch. Lovely. And once more on the right. Looking down, take some deep breaths here. Well done, yogis. So after our peaceful sequence, our well-rounded moon salute, we're going to now move into downward dog. Now this is an inversion. If you've got high blood pressure or you find it dizzy when you're in there, the best thing to do is to come down and rest. Don't let that put you off. It's a lovely stretch for the whole body, and hopefully our legs will feel a nice stretch after being, kneeling. So just come onto all fours for me. Take a moment to make sure your knees and feet are apart, and then tuck your toes under and deliberately bring your buttocks back towards your heels, just a little bit. And what that helps you to do is just stretch your Achilles. But it also means you have to look at your hands now. And in yoga, the wisdom, the brain of the hand is said to be the index finger, the one next to your thumb. So I want you to press the knuckle of the index finger firmly into the floor, and then try, if you can, carefully to spread the weight evenly across your fingers and very much into the palm. The weight goes there. We've tucked the toes under, so we get a lovely, delicious stretch in our toes as well. And what we're going to do is raise our hips and come into downward dog. And I'm going to talk you through this. So please don't worry as you go up and raise your hips. If your knees do not necessarily straighten, it's absolutely fine to keep the knees bent. What we'll do together is walk the dog. So we're going to pad one heel back as we inhale and pad the opposite heel back as we exhale. Our arms are strong. We press the weight into the palms and the fingers, and we gaze towards our upper thigh. We'll walk in the dog, yogis. Walk the dog with me and take 4 more deep breaths. Just have a go. The objective is not to have those heels on the floor, but rather to pad one back and then the other heel back. Just ease into it. Take as many deep breaths as you can, up to 5 here, and then come back down onto all fours so that we can have a moment to rest and relax. So you come down and rest when you need to. I'm going to come down after the next inhale and exhale, back onto all fours. Now, has everybody got a little head rest? No, but we've all got a pair of hands. So we're going to separate the knees. This opens up the hips. We're going to have one fist on top of the other. and simply allow our head to rest there. And that just gives us a moment after that deep stretch to relax and take some resting breaths. So you can always make a pillow, one fist on top of the other, and then you've got a head rest. Particularly if you find it difficult to bring your forehead to the floor, this is a nice alternative. Our knees are open, so we're just opening into the hip a little bit, softening our hip and pelvic region, but we're just taking a well-earned break. Return your awareness to the breath and just enjoy 3 deep breaths here, yogis. Just quietly taking 3 deep breaths in your own time. There's no rush. It's important between these poses to rest and relax, and then we'll move on. Okay, yogis, now when you're ready, just come up again. I'd like us to practice another downward dog. Again, we only stay for as long as you can, and this is known as the 3-legged dog. You can have both arms and hands on the floor, but often in yoga and even in conventional exercise, you hear the words lengthen the hamstrings. Got to, lengthen the hamstrings. The hamstrings behind our thighs are very, very tight, but we need to make them strong as well as long. So this pose will lengthen one leg and strengthen the other, okay? Because we need strong hamstrings to keep our hamstrings, just healthy. So that's what we're going to do. We come onto all fours again. I call this, it's known as tabletop, like a tabletop, aren't we? We tuck the toes under, wrists underneath shoulders, knees very much underneath hips, and we make this square tabletop shape. Can we see that our toes, our ankles, our knees, they're not together, they are hip width apart, and that's key. So just separate the knees if you need to. Let me demonstrate, yogis. We're going to go up. Here we are, back into downward dog. Doesn't matter if the knees are bent, just keep the knees apart. And then you're going to raise one leg, just about hip height. Imagine pushing that foot against an imaginary door. Doesn't matter how high you take it. Just aim to keep the left heel firmly anchored down. Your arms are strong, and just hold that for several deep breaths before having a go on the other side, okay? And what you'll do is strengthen the hamstrings and lengthen the opposite hamstring. One leg is strong, one leg is long. Have a go. Aim to keep the opposite ankle and foot on the floor. Have a go. I can see some heels coming off the floor. That heel should be on the floor, the opposite. I know it's hard, but that's why we have a go. But this is what happens, yogis, and you at home as well. We're all guilty of it. We think, I've got ever so high, but I want you to try and plant this one down. And that may mean you're only here, but what you'll be doing is strengthening this, not just lengthening. Have another go. Don't be deterred, just have a go. Doesn't matter how high the back leg is, try and keep the heel that's on the floor. Excellent effort, lovely. And have a go on the other side. Remember, yogis, we've got 2 legs. Sorry. That's excellent. And you'll be building strength as well as length. Well done. Nice effort. Much harder, isn't it? Yeah. Come down. That was nicely done. You deserve a rest. So again, just open the knees wide. Let the hips soften. Buttocks back towards the heels. Fist on top of fist. And relax. If your forehead does touch the floor, then drop the elbows like I'm doing. Bring the arms around the side of your legs and just drop. And you can always use a cushion. Bring a cushion to yoga. That's always handy. Or one fist on top of the other if your forehead doesn't touch the floor. Take a few deep breaths. That was an excellent effort in what we call 3-legged downward dog. Not easy, but you had a go, so well done. Pose the child, resting here. Take 2 more deep breaths, yogis, and enjoy the rest. It's just a moment to check in with your breathing, but also, before we go into another strong pose, we're collecting the energy so we can move on. come up when you're ready. Well done, yogis. I should say, grab some water. If you bought some water, have a little sip now. The room's quite warm. We've got some windows open, which is lovely because we've got fresh air in here. But it gets dry, so always just bring some water and stay hydrated if you can. And we're going to come up slowly now and try another pose that's 3 parts, and it's called Flying Warrior. You're not going to learn to fly, but you are in a way, okay? Because yoga's not about being static. So come up, yogis, when you've had some water. And there's 3 parts to this. And you can just stay in the first part and enjoy that, or go on to the second and third, okay? So I quite like the fact we've got this dappledness. Can you see that here? Yogis at home probably can't. It's quite tranquil actually, watching that. So we're going to strengthen our legs, tone our hips, and focus on the breath. And we're coming into a balance. We're also going to open our shoulders. So this is brilliant. We're working every part of our body. I want you to take your right foot forwards on your mat and turn your left foot, like me, out about 25, 30 degrees behind you. Now there's a good chance when we're here that our hips are twisted. We may be twisted to one side. So if you take your hands actively to your hips, yogis, and encourage them to come back to the front. And I always say it's like a pair of headlights on the car. They want to be facing forwards. We can bend this front knee gently, but can I ask you to track this right knee forwards and just make sure you can at least see the tops of your big toe and your second. If you've got socks on, you can still see the top of your sock. So that's the legs nice and open. Now we're going to add the arms. We're going to take the hands behind us and interlace the fingers. This is called forming a hatchet. And then to open the shoulders, we're going to actively roll the shoulders up, back and down. And imagine someone were pulling them slightly away from the torso and then down. And as you do, bend that front knee, pull the arms carefully away, hopefully feeling an opening here. We're going to look towards the ceiling. And we hold for 4 deep breaths. This is called Flying Warrior. And this is the first stage of 3 parts. So just enjoy. If you don't want to look up, yogis, then simply look forwards, actively pulling the arms slightly away. Can you feel that opening in your shoulders? So if looking up feels too tricky, look forwards. But keep imagining, like me, excuse my back so you can see, that someone are pulling the arms, first of all, slightly away, and then down towards the earth. And that will activate here. We want to open what we call the clavicle and shoulder region. Great if you sit at a desk all day, really opening for the shoulders. So I'm just going to look forwards, and we're going to go into the second part if we wish to. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to actively, consciously stack the weight in the front leg, scoop the back leg in, and simply come up onto the back ball of the foot, the ball of the left foot, what we call the tiptoes. And the front leg is fairly straight now, but you can keep a micro bend in it if you wish to. But you actively stack most of the weight into the front leg. Now we can stay here, or we can go into the third part, which is we consciously start to tip forwards, stacking even more weight on the front leg. At that point, I want you to engage the tongue muscles, softly pull them in, so we can work the sheath of muscles called the core. And then just have a little go, if you want to tonight, raising that back leg off the floor. Point the toes down towards the floor. Keep pulling the arms gently down over the shoulders, and hold and breathe for 1 or 2 deep breaths. Well done, you're in Flying Warrior. Now I've got a very wobbly warrior tonight, and you may be the same, but don't worry, that's completely human. Tip as far forward as you can. When your leg starts to become quite heavy, which it will, just simply come back into the first version, release your arms, step forwards, and shake out. Roll those shoulders back, well done. Not an easy pose, is it? But I like to challenge, and it's great because you're getting a balance, you're doing your shoulders lots of good. And balances help with memory, and they're really good for focusing and concentrating. Do make sure you breathe, though. Let's try the other side. So left foot forwards. We turn the right foot out now. Let's make sure our hips are squared to the front, yogis. Hands on the hips so we feel they are facing forwards. And it's not a wide step, but as you bend this front knee, can you still see the tops of your left toe? So again, tracking the left foot forward is key, but not over the toes. Don't overload your vulnerable knee joint. Arms behind you to open up into that lovely opening in shoulders. Roll the shoulders back, arms away from the torso and down, earthing down to open here, this clavicle and shoulder region. And again, if you're tight there, don't strain. You're going to look up or forwards, bend the front knee, and focus on, again, actively pulling the arms down towards the earth to open the shoulders. Breathe and take 3 breaths. Now don't look at your toes, but keep the toes of the front foot, particularly yogi, soft and long, particularly that big toe. We know it wants to come off the floor, but if we can keep the toes long and soft, that forms our foundation. It's strong. And again, take 1 more full breath, either looking up or just gently looking ahead if you prefer. Focus on that stretch in your shoulders, breathe into your shoulder region. Now we're going to try our balance again. So let's actively come forwards, perhaps scoot the back foot in, and just, that's it, just so you get a sense of resting on the ball of the back foot, stacking the weight consciously into this front left leg. Load the weight there. And again, you can stay here if you wish to, or actively pull the tummy muscles in to engage the core. As you tip forwards, aim to raise that back leg and point the toes. It doesn't have to be high. Hold and breathe. Flying warrior. Anybody finding this side easier? Or about the same? Or perhaps more challenging? When you're wobbling, don't worry. Just see if you can come back into the first position. Release. Come back to Tadasana, mountain. Shake it out, yogis. Roll the shoulders back. Well done. Everybody okay? Are we all okay at home? Good, okay. So the next pose I'd like us to go into after this is another warrior position, but this is more like a Qigong exercise, and it's about expanding that breath out and drawing it in. It's a lovely pose to do. So let's go wide and sideways on your mat. So can I ask you to turn sideways? Now, if you can, take the legs as wide apart as you comfortably can, and just take a moment to make sure that your toes and ankles are facing forwards. Toes and ankles facing forwards, okay? Good. We'll start with the left leg today. Let's turn it out 90 degrees out and leave the right foot facing forwards. Make sure again your hips are comfortable with the distance that you've gone. So I'll say that again, left foot pointing 90 degrees out and right foot facing forwards. As I bend my left knee, again, I want to track it forwards, not off to the left and right, and I can still see the tops of my toes. Have a go with yourselves as well. As you bend that left knee, make sure you can still see the toes. It's good alignment and good practice to get into, and it means you're not going to overload those vulnerable knees. Anchor down the weight as well through the back heel. Think about 60% of that weight in the back heel, okay? Let's take the arms to shoulder height. This is classic warrior, and we're not going to stay here, but just check both arms are level, and then turn your palms uppermost. Now remember I said golden ball? This is what we're going to do. We're going to inhale, and we're going to draw the hands in towards the chest as if we had this beautiful golden ball of energy. Cup the fingers. It's like a dome-like shape in front of your chest. Exhale, take the arms out to the side and gaze towards your left thumb. Inhale, draw that golden ball of energy back in. Use your breath. We do this 10 times on each side. Exhale, softly just gazing towards the left thumb. Inhale as you draw the energy back into this imaginary golden ball. So this is why it's quite like Qigong, if you've ever done that. Keep going. Exhale, softly gaze towards the left thumb as you expand your lungs with that breath. Inhale, draw the energy in. 5 more, yogis, slowly. Exhale. Look towards the left thumb. Inhale, draw the energy in. That's lovely. Keep going at your pace. This is called the Golden Ball Warrior. All that energy resides in you, and it's quite nice because it's very calming and centering. Each time opening, gazing towards the left thumb, drawing the energy into the chest as if you're holding on to this ball of energy. When you've done up to 10, just release and relax the arms. Lovely. Let's release the arms back down now. And we just pick the feet up, swivel them round to the other side. So now your right foot's turned out, your left foot facing forwards. All we've done is switch sides, yogis. Okay, let's do our golden ball warrior on the left, on the right, sorry. So we inhale. In fact, let's just make sure that right knee again, we can still see the tops of the toes, tracking the right knee forwards. Inhale, open the hands. Exhale, bring that imaginary golden energy ball back to the chest. Inhale, expand the lungs. That's lovely. Exhale, draw it in. 8 more to go. Notice if one side feels easier. And when you open the arms, gaze towards the right thumb. As you exhale, draw the energy in. Gaze towards your ball in the center of the chest. Good. Use your breath wisely. Enjoy the process. Expand the energy. And think about how you're taking energy into the lungs expansively as you open and recharging, drawing the energy inwards as you exhale. Up to 10 yogis in your own time. And again, the pace you go at is the pace that suits you, no rush. When you've done your 10, release your hands. Let's just step the legs in, shake them out. And for those of you in the studio, let's just turn towards those lovely trees whilst it's still light. If you're at home and you can look out the window or find somewhere to look ahead that's lovely, and just reminding you of nature, let's take the feet hip width apart, check the toes and ankles are facing forwards. Lift the toes, yogis, give them a spread. And as you fan them apart, spread them wide on the floor. Just become aware of them again. Turn your palms so they're facing forwards. Relax the shoulders. And now quietly, just take 4 deep breaths. Feel the effects of that balance that you've just done. Feel the effects of your yoga practice. After all, this is known as a mindful practice, and we do the practice mindfully, slowly, reminding ourselves we're not just here to make shapes. We're here to really appreciate and nourish each pose and take a moment to feel the effects, the benefits of what we've practiced so far. Standing and breathing. As you gaze ahead, just enjoy 3 quiet breaths, yogis. Breathing all the way down into your feet. Send the exhalation all the way down into your feet. Just hang out here slowly, enjoying another 1 or 2 deep breaths. Now that you've achieved that quietly, just shake it out, grab some water if you want. We're coming down slowly. We've got about another 10 minutes before relaxation. So if your legs are getting a little bit tired, we're going to go into 1 more kneeling pose. So yogis at home, grab your cushions again. Yogis in the studio, grab those folded mats again, if you could please. Take your folded mat over to your left, because you're going to rest your left knee on that folded mat or cushion, and take your right foot gently out to the side. And just a little useful tip here, yogis. Your left knee wants to be in the same line as your right foot, okay? So your left knee in the same line as your right foot. Right foot's out to the side, left knee you're kneeling on. That's it. We're doing the other side. Doesn't really matter. We're going to do both sides. Don't change now, yogis. But what I want you to do is take your left hand down, either knuckle to make a little fist, or rest the hand here on the floor beside the left knee. Okay? Everybody got that? If I make a fist, it's easier, but you can do fingertips. Now our head weighs about the weight of a bowling ball. That's quite heavy for our neck, isn't it? Poor neck. So let's take the right hand and just take it to the back of your skull. Support that back of the skull, okay? Support the back of that skull by the right side. So your elbows bent like mine. We're going to inhale, look down towards the floor and fold in. We're going to exhale and look forwards and keep that top elbow as high as we can. 6 of those. Plant the right foot into the floor, particularly the right toe as you do this. Inhale, folding. Support the back of the skull, yogis. Exhale and open. That's it. Keep going. Breathing in. Breathing out. It's called the Golden Gate pose. 3 more. Inhale as you fold forwards. Exhale as you open. Keep supporting that neck. Good. 2 more. Breathing in nice and slowly. Breathing out. Lovely. 1 more. Inhale. Now as you look forwards, release the top elbow and arm, straighten it up and pin it towards that top ear as you reach across and lengthen. This is a lovely stretch. Take care. Feels too strong. Yeah. Your knees. Your knees, yeah. It's the last kneeling pose, sorry. Take a deep breath in and release. Well done, yogis. Lie down for a few minutes because we're coming into the last pose, which is a nice twist. And if you can, yogis, we're going to do the other side. If it feels a bit strong on the knees, you can always miss this out. Just lie down, take some deep breaths. So we're going to stretch out that left leg now. Make a fist or fingertips. Again, just take a moment and make sure that your right knee is in the same line as your left foot. Make a little fist with the right hand and have it in the same line, just slightly away from that right knee. Let's hold onto the back of the skull, support it. The fingers are quite wide. Let your head have a moment to rest and then fold forwards, looking down. Inhale. Exhale as you open. Look up towards the ceiling. Open that top elbow. Good. 6 of those, yogis. And again, aim to press that big toe, the left big toe, into the floor. That's it. Keep grounding down. 6 of those, nice and slowly, yogis, to activate that little twisting action. Take great care. Go really slowly. There's no rush. It's quite a strong pose. We're learning new things each week in this pose, in this class rather. So lots of concentration, so take it easy. Stop if you need to. Exhale as you open. Maybe 1 more. Should we do 1 more together as a group, yogis? Here we go. Inhale, closing, folding down. Exhale, open, and then hold that. Straighten that arm and pin it towards the top ear. Long line of energy. That's it. Hold for 2 breaths. Great side stretch. Creating space in your side ribs. Deep hip work as well. That's it. Now release slowly on the exhale. Nicely done. And you'll be pleased to know you get to lie down now. Well done. Now we're going to go in a little reclining twist before our relaxation because you've earned this. So if you haven't done so already, just hug your knees in and rock. Oh, you did that almost an hour ago. Notice if it feels very delightful. That's it. Take a couple of resting breaths, soothe your low back. Your back's worked hard this evening. So just enjoy giving yourself a big internal hug here. Take a couple of deep breaths. Now the next pose is called reclining eagle twist. It's one where we're lying down, we're going to twist to each side. It's very releasing and releases tension in your hips, your thighs and your spine. And I'm going to show you 2 versions, an easy version and a slightly stronger one. And you can decide which works for you tonight, okay? So, the gentler version, if you just want to watch me for a moment, yogis, is where our feet are on the floor, arms are out to the side, palms facing the ceiling, knees and feet together. And all I need to do is lower both knees down to the left. I'm pretty much stacking the knees and the ankles on top of each other. But what we want to do here is keep both shoulder blades into the earth. They want to anchor into the earth. Now that's the gentle version. The stronger version is I cross my right leg over my left. And then I lift the left foot off the floor, which means I'm going to engage my abdominals as I lower those knees down to my left. And that's pretty strong. And I have to work at keeping both shoulder blades down. So that's the strong version, or simply stacking one knee and one ankle on top is the gentler version. Come into the version that suits you tonight, yogis. Either crossing over or simply stacking one foot, one knee on top. Well done. Turn your palms uppermost. Have your arms, that's it, shoulder height. You can turn your head to the left, to the right, or gaze towards the ceiling. The choice is yours. Make sure your neck feels comfortable. And breathe. Enjoy. What's not to like about this twist? It's really, really beneficial for your internal organs. It's great for digestive health. It releases tension in our hips, thighs, and spine. And it's a great pose to finish with. Keep those shoulder blades anchored towards the floor. And just enjoy one or two more deep breaths here before we switch sides. Well done, yogis. Now, very carefully bring the knees back up to the center. Rest the feet again on the floor, across the legs if you were in the eagle pose. And either crossing the left leg over the right now, or just lowering both legs over to the right if that's easier. Pin those shoulder blades down. Keep them on the floor. And again, turning the head if you wish to, or just looking towards the ceiling. Hold your twist for 3 slow breaths, yogis. And when you're ready, bring the knees back up to the center, uncross the legs carefully if they were crossed, and again just hug those knees in, rock gently from side to side just to soothe your low back, and take a couple of deep resting breaths. Well done, yogis. That was our last pose. We're now going to go into what we call a serenity relaxation. And this is a real gift for our bodies. It's just a few minutes, quietly breathing into the body. But because we're going into relaxation, you might want to grab your fleece, your socks, or a blanket, and make sure you're warm and comfortable for relaxation. And yogis at home, make sure you get comfy for relaxation for a few minutes. I'm going to turn the lights out, yogis. Do grab, if you bring a fleece or a jumper, and I think it's a good idea even in the summer months. So pop your cardigans on now if you need to. Our body temperature comes down quite quickly when we're relaxing. If you're warm enough, just make sure you've got something underneath your head, a little cushion or a blanket maybe, so you're comfortable. Now let's tuck our chin in to the throat, so the back of the neck is long again. Palms facing the ceiling. Take the arms slightly away from the body. Let the heels fall out. Just get comfy, yogis. Make sure you're as comfortable as you can be for the next few minutes. Closing the eyes, closing the mouth. Just allow your breath once more to completely relax now. Quiet time, yogis. This is serenity relaxation. So just take a couple of deep breaths here, yogis. Let the body start to become quiet and still. No more yoga. And I want you to imagine or visualize now, breathing in and out from your palms. So as you inhale, imagine the air being drawn into your palms. And as you exhale, the air drawing out of your palms. Your fingers are curled gently in relaxation. Just gently visualizing or imagining the breath, breathing in and out from your palms. And this helps to slow us down, which in turn helps to relax the entire body. As if we could breathe gently in and out from our palms. And just enjoy several deep breaths there, as if you could breathe gently in and out of your palms. Next, let's take the awareness now down to our feet. And in a similar way, let's imagine or visualize that we could breathe into the soles of the feet and breathe out from the soles of the feet. And every time we breathe in and out of the soles of the feet become more open and more transparent. With each breath, the soles of the feet become more open and transparent. And again, enjoy a few deep breaths here, breathing in and out of the soles of the feet. Next, yogis, we take the awareness to the abdomen. And as we inhale, visualizing breathing into the abdomen and out of the abdomen. Perhaps noticing the rise and fall of the breath at the abdomen. As we inhale, abdomen gently rises. And as we exhale, it gently falls. Visualize or imagine just taking a few deep breaths here, in and out of the abdomen. And finally, yogis, We shift the awareness to the heart center. And as we inhale, I want you to breathe kindness into the heart space. And as you exhale, visualize kindness coming out of the heart space. Breathing in and out the heart center, a sense of kindness, calmness, and kindness as we breathe in and out of the heart center. And enjoy a few deep breaths here. Awareness, breathing in and out of your heart center. And as we inhale and send kindness into the heart center, as we exhale, visualize or imagine that calm and centeredness now rippling out to the whole body. A sense of calmness and kindness rippling down through the arms, into the fingers, over the hips, down the legs and into the toes, and up into the head, sending calmness and kindness up into the head and allowing it to ripple out into every part of your body, whole body receiving calmness and kindness, whole body. Enjoy a few more deep breaths, receiving kindness and calmness into the whole body, yogis. Whole body. Enjoy another 4 slow breaths here. 4 slow breaths into the whole body. And then slowly and gently, yogis, we're going to start to come back to the outer world now. Let's just start to take a few deeper breaths into the whole body now. Whole body. And starting to think about making tiny movements once more with your fingers and toes. Small movements with your fingers and your toes as you just gently come back from the inner world, back to the outer world, a little calmer, a little more energized and centered. Just starting to think about stretching, yawning, folding, moving the body in whatever way it wishes to do. Stretching, just waking up gently in your own way. Just let the body stretch, yawn and open in whatever way feels good for you. Take a moment to enjoy that, stretching, coming back to the outer world. Opening the eyes and just slowly Coming up to sitting when you're ready. Just take your time, yogis, and we'll just sit quietly and close our practice together. We start as a group and we always end as a group. So just come up for a moment. Give yourself a moment just to come back gently, back to the outer world. And when you're ready, if you wish to, bring your hands to your heart center and just take a moment to wish yourself well and to wish all beings well if you wish to. And may you all go well. Om Shanti, peace to you. Thank you.